Welcome to the Jamin Show. My name's Ben Villers, and I'm a personal trainer located in Los Angeles, California. Welcome to my show. I appreciate y'all tuning in. And for today's episode, we're going to talk about how sleep controls your performance. I'm joined by two experts, Jill MacRae and Lori Oliver, the founders of the Inactive Company, a team that's redefining how we think about sleep, recovery, and the daily habits that shape our lives. How are we doing today, guys? How are we feeling?
Doing great, Ben. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, totally. It's my pleasure to have you guys on. So tell me a little bit about who you guys are, what is the Inactive Company, and why you created it, and what's your mission?
Well, Lori and I have been friends for a long time. We met while we were on the leadership team of Spanx, a global brand. You may or may not have heard about it, out of Atlanta. And we're literally, after 20-year careers of building other global brands like Coca-Cola, Starbucks, and Home Depot, we were exhausted. And we got a little competitive with taking gummies or melatonin and trying to outbuy each other with pillows and mattresses. We both are working moms and executives and high performers, and really started having a strong conversation about what it took to sleep. And about 3 years ago, came back together, and Lori had this amazing idea and said, we're going to re-engineer one of the most basic accessible sleep tools that's out there right now that people really don't use, and that's the sleep mask. And that's how the Inactive Company was born, based on the tenets that you need to sleep to perform.
I've used a sleep mask myself once, but mine broke, and now I want a new one.
We'll get you a new one.
Yeah, you want.
Because I always tell people that they get blackout curtains, but you don't need blackout curtains. You just need a face mask.
That's right.
How is the company going? How is business doing? I know you guys have some partnerships with some professional athletes. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, the company's going great. I mean, we were actually early on the trend toward the acceptance around sleep, the importance of sleep, and so when we started a few years ago, we were really sort of looking for our people. Who's the audience that will already pay attention to this, because it was not a mainstream idea to treat sleep as performance. And so we entered the NFL's incubator competition, and we're a finalist in that. And so that began a very long and continuing relationship with the NFL, the NFL Players Association, and then, of course, a lot of college sports teams and other sports as well. So we found out that high performers really were already dialed in 3 years ago to the benefits of quality and quantity of sleep, just how important that was, literally as important as their actual workouts and practices.
Absolutely. I mean, the thing is that I always try to tell people that once you understand health and fitness, and you don't have to work out for hours, and you don't have to spend 7 days a week, and you don't have to be super sweaty, then there's ways for us to make gains without exercising. So a couple ways to do that is focusing on your nutrition, making sure you get the right ingredients and the right prep. So a lot of times people work out a lot, but you can maybe do one less workout session and then focus on the nutrition side as well, especially if someone is like, I'm tight on time, I don't have a lot of time. But another way you make gains without doing anything is sleeping and resting. A lot of people struggle to understand this concept. I think an old school way of thinking is rest is weak.
Sleep when you're dead.
sleep when you're dead. Why are you resting or sleeping? But really, it's more strategy and tactical more than anything. You want to really embrace sleep. So for me, I physically am I'm mentally a great sleeper, but unfortunately, physically, I can't stay asleep because I have to wake up and go to the bathroom, or I wake up and my arm is numb, like being on my side, or my sinuses. So it's really frustrating for me, because I love to sleep. I have no issues falling asleep or wanting to stay in bed, but I'm forced out. So I always try to tell people that if you have this ability to sleep for long periods of time, that's like a superpower. That's like a hyperbolic training center. I like to joke, you're like a Super Saiyan. It's like from Dragon Ball Z, one of my favorite cartoons. You're just like super, your recovery is so good. So that is one way of making gains without doing anything, and that's performance related. If you're not sleeping well, or you can't rest, or you're always going, it's going to affect every part of your life, especially the way you look and the way you perform, especially when you're exercising or playing sports, right?
Exactly what you're talking about is why we named the company the Inactive Company. We really wanted to drive home the point that just because you're laying there doesn't mean your body's not working hard. It's different.
Absolutely.
Inactivity, sitting culture, working at a desk all day and not moving during the day is completely different from the activity of the inactivity at night. Your body is going through lots of different cleansing and rejuvenating processes while you're asleep. So it's definitely time well spent.
Absolutely. And if you're someone though who's not doing like any exercise and you're resting too much, it can also be problematic. So we want to make sure that we're really using rest to our advantage. And that is after doing exercise, focusing on good day's work, focusing on good nutrition. Like it can become negative if it's too much. So it's just this balancing act where you're doing enough where the rest and the sleep actually recovers you and progresses you. Really important for everybody to understand that. It's just the balancing. Everything's a balance, and that's one of them.
Totally. And
So,
it's hard because you're absolutely right, but 60 million Americans, adults, struggle with clinical insomnia, which is a huge problem. So, what we try to say is do your movement during the day, but at night, focus on getting the 7 to 9 hours of critical quality sleep, and you will be a new person.
And I think a lot of people struggle to understand the steps before going to bed. A lot of people just are like, okay, I'm going to bed, just doing it. And that's like after maybe scrolling on their phone, watching something on TV. But some other things that I think are really productive, especially if you struggle with sleeping or you wake up very stiff. One thing that I've been doing a lot of lately is putting on healing frequency sounds. So instead of TV or my phone, we're putting on nighttime sleeping healing frequency sounds. And this has been a total game changer, not just for sleeping, but for my focus and for my day-to-day activities. So maybe throwing some of that on, maybe doing some stretching before bed. I know stretching for me before bed has really helped me wake up not stiff. So this year I've been like waking up stiff and I'm like, what is like going on? Is it my mattress? Is it my getting old? Is it my couch? Like what is going on? I got a tip from another trainer being like, oh, the same thing happened to me. Started stretching before bed. I took his tip. The stiffness went away. It was like incredible. Maybe doing some reading, working on our breathing, making sure the lights are down. A lot of people don't do any of these things at the end of the day because they're working all day and they feel like they only got a few minutes of free time and they like cram in a TV show or their phone. And I get it. But at the same time, are you struggling with sleep? Are you slaving away in your day? Do you feel like you're low energy? Do you feel like you're not as productive as you can be? Well, some ways of fixing that are taking some steps before going to bed to ensure you've got good quality sleep, because a lot of it's coming right from there.
We completely agree. And we actually developed what we call the Sleep 7 playbook, which addresses your sleep routine, your sleep hygiene, what we like to call your sleep warm up or workout, because we say that sleep isn't magic. It's actually something that you were born to do, and it's something that you can practice and perfect if you warm up or work out with it, just like you would anything else during the day. You have to actually train yourself. And so we actually do have a Sleep 7, it's on our website, but we like to say things like, first of all, go long. You need to commit and say you're going to try to sleep at least 7 hours. So don't set your alarm for any less than that. Make sure you're backing up your bedtime. Team up, just like you said, planning for it. and getting ready, it's okay to also find a pal and talk about it, just like we're talking about it right now, because there's 60 million of us out there who aren't sleeping. Odds are you know somebody right next to you who also isn't sleeping very well, or not talking about it because of that culture that you mentioned, when we're all like over high achievers and we're sleep when we're dead kind of people. We also say, get in the zone. You know, your bed is for sleeping, not for eating and binge watching, even though I'm also guilty about that. But for me, the real game changer came when I made my bed sort of a sacred space, you know, not having all my kids come in and talk to me, or working, which is my biggest vice. One of my biggest vice, sorry, my other's coffee, but you know, I'm working, you know, while I'm in bed. The fourth thing we like to say is keep your eyes on the prize, which is your sleep, and not your phone or your laptop or your television, particularly anything that emanates blue light, because it takes a good 30 minutes for your brain to sort of disseminate that blue light. Even when you shut it off and close your eyes, the light is still bouncing around in your brain, believe it or not. So 30 minutes before bedtime, get that blue light off. Mm-hmm. We also like to say, dream it, do it. So, you know, all the GOATs sort of swear by this, particularly if you're talking about Tom Brady, who says that he sleeps like, I don't know what, 21 hours a night or something crazy like that. But anyway, you know, visualization is another thing. And you talked about breathing and meditation. That all fits into the same category of sort of envisioning, positive thinking, meditating. If you think it, you can actually do it, which is one of our most important steps. And then also, you know, we talk about this kind of pre-game pep talk. Just, it's sort of a, if you build it, it will come. While you're practicing and warming up your sleep, be positive about it. Don't be like, oh, another sleepless night, I'm going to wake up for sure. And, you know, if you practice and get into that space and get into that zone, sleep begets sleep, are what the sleep experts and sleep doctors say. So you can, like I mentioned earlier, train yourself and sort of get into that pattern where your body's going to sleep. And then reward yourself. If you have a great night's sleep and get up feeling great, do something good for yourself. Buy a new pair of pajamas, you know, but buy an Inactivators Sleep Mask to help you sleep better. It's really all cyclical, and your body also responds to reward just like your brain does.
Ben, I know you preach a lot about consistency and habits, good habit science. Just want to point out that all the steps Jill just ran through are based in science. They're based in cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, which is the gold star standard for sleep training. And also, you know, James Clear, like habit type things. You heard Jill say words like visualization and affirmations. Those things are critical. I mean, a lot of people know these things, but if you really take these steps and then you're consistent with them, you will see results.
You'll see results, and especially if you're very fitness oriented. I remember when one of my first lessons on the depth of sleep. It's not even just the quantity of sleep, it's how deep in your sleep you get. So one of my mentors in the fitness space, well, I learned this from years ago. One of the products that he sells is melatonin. He has his own like brand of melatonin. But the reason behind it is that the deeper you sleep, the greater the recovery in your muscles and in your fitness. So if you're like sleeping 8 hours, like you get up 2 or 3 times a night, and you're just like laying in your bed, but you sleep on and off, that's okay. It is what it is. But we are also focused on the depth of sleep. How deep can you fall into your slumber? That's where a lot of the power comes from. And what we're talking about here is for two types of people. One is the person who struggles to sleep consistently, and the other person is who sleeps really well. If you're someone who sleeps really well, you want to protect this. You want to embrace this. This is actually one of your superpowers. By going a high intensity level during the day, whether it's work or fitness, and then having the ability to turn it off at night is incredible. So sure, using these habits that we're going over before bed or during the day is important, but everyone's different. Everyone's bodies are different. So you don't need these tips right now as much. You're more in preserving what you've got. But for the people who are struggling, these are insights and tips that you want to use. Maybe not everything at once, but we want to start working towards improving the quality of our sleep, because it really is that important. So when you guys are on like a broadcast, right? Is there any additional message that you guys really want to share? Any like specific details, or just like sleep is really important overall?
So we did a lot of research when we founded the Inactive Company and have continued to do so. We're not sleep doctors, so we did everything we could to connect with people who were their experts in their field. We worked with Emory University and their sleep science clinic, as well as participated in an IRB study with their veterans program, the Wounded Warriors. We got ourselves invited to the Harvard Medical School Sleep Symposium. We participated in the Equinox Global Sleep Symposium, where some of the world's greatest sleep experts were there. So we've really been asking these questions like yourself and digging and saying, what else do we need to know? And one of the most important things that we knew, sort of, and then validated by talking to all these experts, is sleep is really the only human performance factor that you cannot replace. You can't cheat it. You can't take a pill for it. You can't get a shot for it. You can't put it in your smoothie. Your body is hardwired into your DNA. So you must sleep, which means you've got to figure out, like you said, how your routine is going to work well for you, what works for you, and how to manage your circadian rhythm. Sometimes people have actual circadian rhythm disruption, which is why they wake up during the middle of the night. And so those are the things that you really need to look out for. What we're talking about, the steps along the way, things that you can do, cutting out the blue light, are tools to help you manage how well. We like to say, you talk about depth of sleep, we talk about quality of sleep, so that you can get REM cycles and make sure that your circadian rhythm is reset when you wake up first thing in the morning and you're seeing sunshine. We talk about all those things because sleep is critical to your performance.
A lot of people don't really realize that good sleep starts when you wake up. If you get morning sunlight into your eyes, that really anchors and sets your circadian rhythm for the day. And that doesn't matter if you're a good sleeper typically or not, or not a good sleeper typically. That is an important tool to help you sleep well that night and perform well the next day. So, that's what really intrigued us about the sleep mask. There was recently a study, unfortunately, that says that taking melatonin pills is actually really not, if you do it consistently, it's really not good for your brain. It can lead to dementia, things that we used to think were benign that helped us sleep, Benadryl or whatever. Now we understand can cause some long-term health issues that you just want to avoid. One thing that if you have a night of sleep that you can't achieve sleep for, even if you typically are a great sleeper, you can control naturally is by getting complete darkness. So that's what intrigued us about the whole sleep mask idea, that nobody had ever really looked at innovating the sleep mask so that it was ergonomically designed to fit any face, so that you could achieve, I could achieve, Jill could achieve, anybody could get 100% darkness, which is the number one factor for getting a good night's sleep or signaling your own brain to produce its own melatonin naturally. When we looked at designing this, we thought, well, how can we create something? Because only about 10% of the people out there had even ever tried a sleep mask. So how can we convince somebody to try a sleep mask? And the answer was, make it lightweight, make it ergonomic, make it formable to your unique face, embed cooling into the mask itself, so that's the number one. The number two most important factor is in helping your circadian rhythm go through the process is to keep your face temperature slightly regulated or cooler to help you sleep longer. Eye pockets. How do we let people feel like if they do wake up in the middle of the night, which can be a natural phenomenon as long as you go back to sleep, but that you don't kind of lose your space and place and time because you're wearing a mask. And so we created these eye pockets so that you literally can open and close your eyes even though you're wearing a mask. So, we just thought that there are things, everybody should have something like this tool in their arsenal, so that on those nights, or if they travel, or if they're stressed, or if they're not feeling great, they've got something that really can naturally help assist them go to sleep. And so, it felt like a home run to help a lot of people broadly and easily.
Yeah, I definitely need to get back on my sleep mask game. I had one. Actually, I never really, my whole life, I never had a sleep mask. I was given one as a gift and it broke and I was super bummed out. But I saw that we were like interacting over email. So I was like, oh, this would be really great. Maybe I should get one of their sleep masks.
We will get you our sleep mask, and we'd love your feedback.
Yeah, I would definitely. I need to get back into my, because I'm in like the city, like I'm in LA, and really love my apartment. I got like lights all over the place, like little small lights, and I haven't replaced. I have like a huge window over there, so I haven't bought like a blackout curtain, but like a mask is just so much easier than a blackout curtain.
And you can take it with you. Yeah,
I can take
wherever you go.
So we've gone over how sleeping is really important and how the right routines and all the tips and things that we can continue to talk about. But I think what's also really important is what are the factors that disrupt sleep? Because sure, we've got all these tips on how to make sleep better, but another way of improving our sleep, without doing a single one of the things we just told you to do, but by doing less of the things that mess you up in the first place. So I think one thing, so I have like a list of some ideas that I think can disrupt our sleep. And I think one of them is our sit down too much lifestyle. I think when we sit down all day, what happens is we get stiff and our blood flow is not circulating as efficiently as it should be. Our nervous system is just like dormant. Our metabolism is just dormant. And this has a rollover effect to sleeping. It's harder for us to also transition into sleep because you are already sitting down all day, like probably looking at phones, computers, whatever. Then you go home and you kind of just do the same thing. Maybe like you go to the gym for like an hour or two, if even. Then how many days a week do you do that? And then you don't do any of the steps that we were talking about. You just like watch a movie and you know, most people go on their phone. I talk to most people and I'm like, I tell them how like when I go home at the end of my day, it's really easy for me to not look at my phone because I'm using it all day. So I just put it to the side and I don't even have the urge to look at my phone, but people think I'm like crazy for that. I tell them, don't do that. I say bedtime phone is naughty. And they're like, I can't break it. And I'm like, all right, well, it is what it is.
I think you're really smart to not look at your phone. And guess what? You can't look at your phone if you're wearing a sleep mask and your eyes are covered. So that, we've taken that out of the equation, which we love and athletes love because especially college and particularly younger pro athletes just have a hard time getting themselves off their phones. So it's kind of a Pavlovian practice and is, as well as a functional one by just the process and the act of putting on a mask is starting to associate your brain and your body with it's time to go to sleep. So I think that's really smart. The second thing I think that about sitting culture and sitting too much and being inactive during the day is that, look, cortisol can be a really good thing, but you have to manage it. So, as your temperature begins to rise in the morning, your cortisol begins to also rise and it kind of gets you ready for the day. We say, take advantage of that. Go out, be doing things, be active. And as you were saying at the top of this whole session here, you don't have to be hard driving every moment that you're awake and overdo your movement and your exercise, but you do have to get quality movement every day. You should not be sitting, longer than 30 minutes at a time. And so you do have to have this practice of taking advantage of the cortisol that your body naturally gives you to attack a day. That will also help you manage your cortisol to calm down to go to sleep at night. The combination of actually using your body for movement purposes and expending some energy, plus stretching, meditation, any other calming sort of activities will get your body into that parasympathetic response that begins to lower your cortisol that will help you sleep when you should be sleeping.
Well, I don't think enough people, and I preach this heavily, but not enough people understand the difference between easy intensity, medium intensity, and high intensity. You need to be living in that easy to medium intensity zone every day. Yep. Every day when you wake up or at your desk or in between calls or You can be doing easy intensity things. You can be doing easy intensity exercise frequently without getting sweaty, without doing lots of reps and sets. This is the habit, one of the best habits that we can begin to incorporate is we want to activate our body. I don't care if we're in a suit and a tie and we sit. You can stand up, stretch your legs in very short bursts periodically throughout the day. And by doing that, if you plan on going to the gym in the evening, you're going to be already like warmed up, ready to go. But I always tell people that kind of a rookie move is waiting until your gym sessions to be warming up and stretching. You're too late. You're too late. You could do a little bit, but like you should be doing that throughout the day, daily. It rolls over. And then you're essentially just able to walk into the gym and get started. Not saying that right away, start lifting heavy weights, because that's where you need to warm up. You start lighter and progress up. But you should not be waiting until your gym session to be stretching and trying to cover all of the ground. You could be doing it at work, at home, when you wake up. And snap out of sitting consistently all the time. Sitting in a chair for long, excessive periods of time is harmful and actually really bad for your body. Not a little bit bad, but really bad. Not just like little sits, not like, little intervals of sitting, because we can sit, but it's when we do it 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, times the month, times the year, times 20-year career. Like it actually makes you shorter, makes you tighter, your circulation's worse, everything's worse. Everything's worse. So you can improve your sleep by just snapping out of sitting all the time. And the next thing, it kind of rolls together though, is like the screen time, but we're going to take it one step further. I had someone on my podcast, I forgot exactly which episode, but we talked about how we are light beings. And it's not just phone time. It's like the lights in your room. Are you getting sun? Like we are light beings. And this was actually a really great breakthrough for me, because I always knew sun, get some sun, whatever, but your rhythm, everything, you need to be getting real sunlight. That doesn't mean spending hours, but don't be in front of these artificial lights besides phone. So right now in this podcast, I've got 3 lights going on here, right? The second we're done recording, they're off. At nighttime, there's no heavy lights in my house. In the morning, I shower pretty much in the dark, because I'm getting my rhythms going. So I want us to really emphasize not just the fact that we're sitting too much, but what light are we being exposed to? Is it the screen light? Are we inside all the time? By just getting outside, putting your phone down more, and then making a change of lighting in your home can be a game changer for falling asleep.
That was my big unlock. I started about 2 years ago waking up, having my morning coffee, sitting outside. Any season, all, cold, hot, didn't matter what was happening, but getting morning sunlight, my eyes literally changed the way I sleep that night. And I can't underscore what you just said enough. It's true. The second thing, once I started feeling a difference that way, I started looking at the evenings, and, my husband and I are guilty of watching, Netflix or binge watching a show in the evening after dinner, but I'll turn off all the lights around us. We'll start dimming lights starting in the evening to really signal to your body and your brain that we're getting to that point of winding down. And, it may sound so simple that it doesn't work, but it's so simple and it actually works. So you start dimming down your lights in the evening, and when you are ready to go to sleep, you should be experiencing complete, absolute 100% darkness. I don't care if there is a little red light under your TV screen in your bedroom, you cover it up at night, or if you wear the sleep mask, you won't see it. But any small amount of light that's coming in through your eyelids, which it can, even if you have your eyes closed, is impacting your quality and your quantity of sleep. So, really managing, starting with natural sunlight, morning sunlight, and then ending up with complete total darkness is how you get great sleep.
It's not that watching TV at the end of your day is bad, but all of the factors just matter. Like, what's your day like? What kind of job do you do? Do you sleep well? What are your health and fitness goals right now? Are you struggling in the gym? Like, there's just all of these factors. So it's not that, like, of course I'll watch TV at the end of my days too, but at the same time, do I do that every night? I do not. And
Right.
when I'm a personal trainer, it's funny because I'm obviously having conversations with people. We're talking about like what we watch or what we don't watch, but sometimes I feel bad because they're asking, they're like, what do you watch? Like, what are you watching these days? And like, of course I watch some stuff, but I'm behind. Like, I'm not like I'm not like really with the culture so much. Like, I'm on this like delayed effect because I just watch it in my time, like, because I'm not racing home and like watching TV at the end of my day. It's just not a priority. Sometimes, when I feel like I've been really good, I'll watch TV, or sometimes I'm chilling with friends or whatever. But I go home, I ditch the phone. It's easy to ditch the phone. I don't even have to think about it. I just take it out of my pocket, put it out. I don't even like look at it the rest of the day. And then I love my healing frequency sounds. I know I can't tell if I sound like lame or not, but I've been just locking into these healing frequency sounds. It's been just a game changer. I don't even think about TV, or I'm just like sitting there eating my food with the healing sounds. I got the colored lights in the sounds. I'm sleeping with the sounds. I'm walking from the gym. It's pretty much 24/7 at this point, and it's been incredibly effective. So yeah, it just all situational on like the TV and the Netflix and the lighting and stuff. But get out of the artificial light. That's pretty much what we're trying to talk about. Less artificial light, more natural light. No excuses if you're inside all the time. Just make it happen, especially if you need it. If you need it, then make it happen. If you're not someone who like needs this at the moment and you're just listening, then great. But if you're someone who's struggling with something, not hitting their goals, and they're anxious about whatever it is that's going on in their life, then make it a priority and do what we're telling you to do here.
And you can get natural light even on a cloudy day. Just
Absolutely. And that might be better because it's not so hot.
mm-hmm.
So just go outside. It's just that air and that lack of artificial light. Another thing that really messes up our sleep cycle, it continues to play what we've been talking about, but really it's not having that pure contrast in having a hyper-stimulated nervous system. So it's like you're going all day and you don't change the settings, or you're just working all the time, or you're super stressed with work, or you're having caffeine all the time. We want to have some contrast and shifting of our days. So it's not just like immediately going from one thing to another and it kind of just blends in. From your consciousness, it's time for work, it's work, and an end of work. But in our inside, in our central nervous system, it's not as obvious. So we want to create these strong, powerful contrasts. One thing that I've really made a change of over the years is not having a cup of coffee the first thing in the morning, but waiting a little bit later in the day. Because what I see happening is that people get so worked up in performing at their job, and I get that. So the first thing that they do is have coffee, and then they'll have another cup of coffee like later. But the problem with this is that you just woke up. You might not feel like you've got a lot of energy, but you like do. So by having a cup of coffee like immediately, it throws things off because now our hormones are spiked up. But then what happens is that you're starting work at 7, 8, 9 in the morning, but we've got the whole day left. So it's like you come down, and then what do? You have another cup of coffee. And now all day you're just like fluctuating in your hormones, and we do not want that. We do not want that. That's how our cortisol is going to get messed up, and that's how our sleep's going to get messed up. Averaging 2 cups a day is a lot more than averaging just 1 cup a day. And
coffee has a 6-hour half-life. I mean, if you're doing what you describe and coming down after your morning cup and then having another one, if you're doing that too close to when you're going to try to go to sleep, it's going to mess you up.
And it just blends in that day where you never really feel like you're coming down. And me personally, I think that I haven't talked to like an official, this is just my observation. I feel like the best time to have a cup of coffee is like at like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock time. Because at that point, you have been up for a few hours and now you are naturally getting tired again. So a lot of people like think they're weird for being tired all the time. But guys, we work 5 to 7 days a week. Everything's expensive. None of us are getting paid enough. We're not doing enough vacation. So it has nothing to do with you not having this energy. You're overworked. You're overworked. So there's nothing wrong with you for being tired, but I like to have this cup of coffee midday because you just did some work. So you woke up, you took a little while to wake up, whatever. Now you're doing whatever it is that you gotta do, but now you're getting tired. Like, you're doing things. So what is a natural thing to do? Give me a little bit of a boost. So by having a cup of coffee so instead of going wake up, flatline, spike up, crash down, spike back up, crash down, what I like to do is just wake up level. We're just waking up level. But now once it gets around 11 or 12, I am getting tired, but I still have like half a day left. So then we drink a cup of coffee. Now it brings me back up to just that regular even playing field. And then I finish my day and I crash at the end of the day. Instead of just spiking all day, that's what's going on here with the hyperstimulated nervous system between stress, light, sitting, and having too much caffeine. You're just all wired up and messed up. And then at the end of the day, you're just sleeping because you're crashed from all that stuff. But we don't really want a crash either. We're not trying to create artificial crashes where you feel like you're sleeping. Another example of an artificial crash is smoking weed. People smoke pot and weed because it puts them like to bed. And in theory, maybe that makes sense, but that's not actually factually true. So even when you're like smoking like sleepy weed, it's spiking up your stress hormones. That anxiousness, that stress is happening, and it messes up your sleep. But then usually you fall asleep because you're just no longer high.
That's right.
And you crashed and you're just tired. And when you're not high anymore, you get tired. It's the same thing with coffee. You're not high anymore on caffeine, so you're tired. You're not wanting to do that. And if you're in a high stress performance job, guys, no one's paying attention to you in the morning like you think. You're overthinking it. No one cares. Like, I'm telling you, it's in your head. You don't need the stimulants right in the morning. It's in your mind more than anything. Another thing is poor posture. When we have poor posture, our muscles are just, everything's collapsing on top of us, and then our airways are not open. When we're too tight, which is a result of sitting too much, our circulation isn't good. We want to make sure we've got good posture. We've got good breathing exercises. I know it's not easy for everybody to work on your breathing. That's a segment for another day. But if you're someone who struggles to breathe and meditate and your posture, like, that's just another day of work right there. And you just have to learn how to find the details and then lock in, because it just, you can't see the air. You can't see like the breathing stuff like you can with weights and cardio and stuff, but it's there and it makes a huge difference. We want to make sure we've got good posture throughout our day. So those are all the disruptors that we want to stay away from in order to maximize our sleep. So do you guys have anything else you want to contribute to what we've talked about so far? Anything that I've left out?
You've covered it well. I think that just the takeaway would be sleep is the foundation of health. It is the only thing that literally affects every part of your body and brain every night as you get good sleep. You should be getting 4 to 6 complete REM cycles, stages of sleep. You should go through all 4 stages 4 to 6 times, which takes the 7 to 8 hours that you need, because it is going to decrease your inflammation. It actually stimulates growth hormones, testosterone, and other things that you need. It resets your pain sensitivity, so you'll feel less pain. It will address the stiffness and the body things that you described, Ben, at the beginning. It will balance your stress hormones and positively impact your mental and emotional health as well. So it clears your toxins, it lessens the inflammation, and it just literally makes you healthier in every aspect of your life. So, it is as important, if not more important, than exercise. But literally, as we've been discussing, both movement and good sleep are critical for good health.
So some actionable takeaways for us to take from this episode? So we just listened to everything. What can we do to make a change right now? So we want to focus now, immediately. Easy things that we can do. Focus on our posture. Let's pay attention to our posture. Let's focus on getting a walk outside, right? Let's improve that. Let's focus on transitioning of environments, not being so worked up over work or things that are not that important, not being overly caffeine stimulated. We want to try another actionable takeaway is change the lighting in your home and what you're exposing yourself to. Have a pre-bed routine, not just like a pre-workout routine, not just a workout, post-workout, like sleep routine. Your day is over. I know we want to do other fun things because we've been working all day, but let's have a pre-bed routine. You'll thank yourself later for that one. And if you're someone who's struggling with breath work, meditation, then you want to prioritize figuring that out as well. And then lastly, just being consistent. Doing these things individually, randomly is okay, but we're going to really see changes by being consistent over time. So that was a really great episode. You guys, any lasting words for the audience?
Good sleep makes you a better person. Better for yourself, better for your family, higher performer, better for your job, more successful in life. So don't forget that and don't deny yourself good sleep.
Absolutely. So these are the two CEOs, two co-founders of the Inactive Company. I'm super excited to give their sleep mask a try. I encourage you all to check it out, maybe get one for yourself. And until next time, folks, have a great rest of your day. Take care.